Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 18th chapter, 12th verse. Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana Sarvair Gunais Tatra Samasate Suraha Harav Abhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna Manoratena Sati Davato Bahi Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana Sarvair Gunais Tatra Samasate Suraha Arava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna Manoratena Sati Davato Behi
Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana
Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana
Sarvai Gunas Tatra Samasate Sura
Sarve Gune Satra Samasate Sura
Harava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna
Arava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna
Manoratena Sati Davato Bahi
Manoratena Sati Davato Bahi
Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana
Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana
Sarvari Gunais Tatra Samasate Suraha
Sarve Gune Satra Samasate Sura
Arava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna
Arava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna
Manoratena Sati Davato Bahi
Manoratena Sati Davato Bahi Yasyasti Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana Sarve Gunas Tatra Samasate Sura Arava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna Manoratena Sati Davato Bahi. Ladies. Yasyasti Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana Sarve Gunas Tatra Samasate Sura Arava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna Manoratena Sati Davato Bahi. Yasya, of whom, asti, there is, bhakti, devotional service, bhagavati, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, akinchana, without any motive, sarvai, with all, gunai, good qualities, tatra, there in that person, samasate, reside, suraha, all the demigods, haro, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, bhaktasya, of a person who is not devoted, kutaha, where, Mahadguna, good qualities, Manoratena, by mental speculation, Asati, in the temporary material world, Davata, who is running, Bahi, outside. Translation and purport by His Divine C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, all the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities, even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives. He must be driven by his own mental speculation and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? Thank you. Purport. As explained in the next verse, Krishna is the original source of all living entities. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, Mamai vangso jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana manashashtan indriyani prakriti shtani karshati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which includes the mind. All living entities are part and parcel of Krishna, and therefore, when they revive their original Krishna consciousness, they possess all the good qualities of Krishna in a small quantity. When one engages himself in the 9 processes of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dahasyam, Sakyam, Atmani Vedanam, one's heart becomes purified and he immediately understands his relationship with Krishna. He then revives his original quality of Krishna consciousness. In the Adi Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 8, there is a description of some of the qualities of devotees. For example, Sri Pandit Haridas is described as being very well behaved, tolerant, peaceful, magnanimous, and grave. In addition, he spoke very sweetly. His endeavors were very pleasing. He was always patient. He respected everyone. He always worked for everyone's benefit. His mind was free of duplicity, and he was completely devoid of all malicious activities. These are all originally qualities of Krishna, and when one becomes a devotee, they automatically become manifest. Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, says that all good qualities become manifest in the body of a Vaishnava, and that only by the presence of these good qualities can one distinguish a Vaishnava from a non-Vaishnava. Krishnadas Kaviraj lists the following 26 good qualities of a Vaishnava. So before I read this section, I'd like you all to consider, as we're going through the 26 qualities, if there's any that jump out at you, where you can think of an example in Srila Prabhupada's personality, where he exemplifies one of these qualities, or you might think of something from Chaitanya Leela or Krishna's pastimes. Then I'd like to leave enough time at the end to hear from all of you, to learn from you. So, number 1, he is very kind to everyone. Kripalu, merciful. 2, he does not make anyone his enemy. Akrita droha means he's not defiant. 3, satyasara, thoroughly truthful. He is truthful. Sama, he is equal to everyone. 5, no one can find any fault in him. 6, he is magnanimous. 7, he is mild. 8, he is always clean. 9, he is without possessions. 10, he works for everyone's benefit. 11, he is very peaceful. 12, he is always surrendered to Krishna. 13, he has no material desires. 14, he is very meek. 15, he is steady. 16, he controls his senses. 17, he does not eat more than required. 18, he is not influenced by the Lord's illusory energy. 19, he offers respect to everyone. He does not desire any respect for himself. 21, he is very grave. 22, he is merciful. 23, he is friendly. 24, he is poetic. 25, he is expert. 26, he is silent. Oma Gyana Tamrandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Panchakalpa Trubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Siva Sari Gaura Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So for any relationship to develop, we need to know the qualities of the person that we want to have a relationship with. And so since Srila Prabhupada is everybody's Shiksha Guru in ISKCON, then we want to understand Srila Prabhupada through his wonderful qualities that he displayed during the 12 years that he was with us. As devotees, I remember when I was doing the Bhakta program, doing a circuit, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, going on Harinam every day, with our Changing Body exhibit on one side, our Bad Karma exhibit on the other side. And I bought a keyboard stand so I could put the harmonium up, so I could be level with everybody else. And we'd cook it up on Harinam, invite people back to the dinner program at the Toronto Temple. At the Ottawa Temple, we also had a dinner program, recruiting program. That was the focus, to get new recruits. Tanavir Maharaj, Vipramukhya Prabhu at that time, and Rohini Nandan Prabhu organized the Bhakta program in Soho Street. And if anyone's had the great fortune to go on Harinam in London, then the corner of Soho Street and Oxford, 10,000 people go by every hour. Wow. So it's a Harinam devotee's dream. I decided to rename Soho Street Harinam Loka, because at that time they had 3 Harinams going out every day. Harinam in the morning, Harinam in the afternoon, and Harinam at night. So if you love Harinam, you can go out 3 times a day for dancing, and chanting in the streets. 24/7. Well, not maybe 24. Although I heard that Vishnu John Swami used to do Harinam like something till like 1 o'clock in the morning. Hard program to maintain if you want to come to Mangalarti. But that was the fervor. That was the enthusiasm of the Hare Krishna movement. 70s, 80s, I don't want to say was, but there was definitely a certain intensity at that time. Vishnu John Swami used to wear black mitts or gloves, and he put dimes in them so that when he hit the mridanga, it would be even more sonorous. So charity begins at home. When new people come to the temple and they see the loving exchanges amongst devotees, how much we love each other, and how much we're eager to serve one another, and how we're always bringing out the best in one another. As the German philosopher Gott, is that how you pronounce his name? He said, if you treat a man or a woman according to what they can become, that's what they'll become. I'm paraphrasing. So we want to bring out the best in one another, and we want to create such a wonderful environment that people say, wow, these Hare Krishna people, they're so sweet and so respectful of one another. I want to be one of them. I want to join this movement, or at least try to come every Sunday, something. So I remember I was fervently praying in those days. I wanted to make new devotees, and I hear from my older godbrothers that if there was even one person in the temple that was praying for new people to come and become devotees, then that was very good. And my dream was for everyone to become a book distributor, because that's the way I was trained on Tripurari Swami's party in Chicago. Not that the cook is not also a Sankirtan devotee, and the pujari. I remember when we come back from O'Hare Airport, our pujari, Pratik Chandra, and Chaitanya Rupa, and Ramai Prabhu, our three main pujaris, they would dress the deity so gorgeously every morning and every night. It was so refreshing after coming back from, approaching the conditioned souls in the airport, getting harassed by police and different experiences. It was a feast for the eyes to see how beautiful it was. And the prasadam of Gopati and Vishnudat Prabhu were just, they had learned from Anand Das Brahmachari, sometimes called Anand Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's personal cook. And yum yum, boy was that. Yum yum bhapi smarang bhavam. That prasadam was so excellent. And I would pack it up every day to take it in the airport van to feed all the devotees at the deserted elevator shaft there at Hare Krishna Airport. As Prabhupada asked us to ask the managers to rename the airport. They said, well, they'll give it some thought. They didn't go beyond that. So please don't take my next statement as a racial one. But Gujaratis are not meant to just take care of Gujaratis. And Punjabis are not just meant to take care of Punjabis. But rather, Prabhupada came to the West specifically to save the Westerners. And the Gujaratis and the Punjabis and the Bengal, they're meant to become the gurus of the Western people. Not that we just take care of our kind. No. Jivera Swarup Hoy Krishnara Nityadas. We're the eternal servant of Krishna. We are not Punjabis, we're not Gujaratis, we're not Whiteys or Caucasians. So we need to open our hearts. Bharata Bhumite Manusha Janmayar Janma Sartakakari Para Upakara. It's the duty of everyone who's coming from the Punya Bhumi, Bharata Varsha, to make their own lives successful by becoming Krishna conscious and helping the rest of the world by doing Para Upakara. So that leads up to the first quality of a devotee, is that he is Kripalu, he's very kind. As Srila Prabhupada would sign his letters, your ever well-wisher. So Srila Prabhupada was the ever well-wisher of everyone that he met. And we know this was the example also of the six Goswamis. Dira, dira, jana priyo priyakaro, nirmasaram pujito. So we have the example of Haridas Thakur. Maybe someone can help me here. Who asked Haridas Thakur why he didn't chant silently? Was it Sanatana Goswami? I don't know if anyone knows Chaitanya Leela. But someone asked him, why don't you just chant silently? Why do you chant loudly? And he said, so that the animals can benefit, so the plants can benefit, so the insects can hear the holy name. So when I go down a nature trail, I try to remember this instruction. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I want all the, I'm not saying I'm comparing myself to Haridas Thakur, but because I have a crazy mind, then it helps me if I chant louder. But the benefit of that is that other living entities will also hear the holy name. So Haridas Thakur, as we know from the Chaitanya Bhagavat, was dragged and beaten in 22 marketplaces. I mean, the Christians, they worship. For them, their deity is Lord Jesus Christ on the cross getting blasphemed. And when Srila Prabhupada, maybe Guru Das was there at this time, Prabhu, Govinda Das, he tells the story that when she went with Srila Prabhupada to the big Notre Dame Cathedral, there's a huge, in Chantabras, really gigantic church in downtown Montreal called Notre Dame. And when Srila Prabhupada saw Jesus hanging on the cross, he said, this is worship in the mode of ignorance. Prabhupada was not pleased to see this. That's maybe a little digression. But anyway, I'm just thinking, many of us are raised in Christian families and we honor Lord Jesus. And Prabhupada said, you cannot love Lord Jesus Christ without loving the Son, Lord Jesus, without loving his Father, Lord Krishna, and you cannot love the Father, Lord Krishna, without loving his Son, Lord Jesus Christ. And often if we might meet a Christian and we say, yes, Christ said through him, one can come to know the Father, and the Father is Lord Krishna. I'm like, no, Krishna is not the Father. Well, who is? Well, I don't know, but it's not Krishna. But Krishna says, Sarva Yonisho Konteya, Aham Bija Pradavita. I am the seed-giving Father of every living entity. Prabhupada said, Lord Jesus is not the Hindu God. We don't even find the word Hindu in the 18 Puranas, the 108 Upanishads. Nowhere in the Ramayana, nowhere in the Mahabharata do we find Hindu. Hindu was made up by the Muslims who lived west of the Sindhu River, and they would refer to people east of that river because they pronounce their S's like H. So they call them Hindus. So we're non-sectarian. And what's the amazing thing about Haridas Thakur being Kripalu is that even while he was being dragged through the street and being beaten, like Lord Jesus, please Lord forgive them for they know not what they do. He was praying that the guards that were beating him would be forgiven by Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya said in his Mahaprakash Leela that if Haridas Thakur had not prayed for those guards, he would have severed their heads off. So think about the next time that someone offends you. Are you thinking, please Lord Krishna, forgive them? Or are you thinking, just wait till their karma comes around? It's a good reality check. So, we also have the pastime of Nityananda Prabhu and how he and Haridas Thakur wanted to deliver the rogues of Jagai and Madai, murderers, pardon? Rapists. Yeah.
They did.
I mean, we could get into a whole other topic on this, but we have the example of Lord Shiva, Paradukaduki. In the Amrit that was being generated, there was also poison being generated, and he drank it all, and he became Nilakant. His whole neck turned blue because he kept all the poison in himself so that the other living entities did not become harmed. We know the pastime of Lord Chaitanya embracing, 7 or 10 palm trees in South India? Yeah. And he sent them back to Godhead. Who were those palm trees? It was great personalities. And then we have the example where the devotees from Navadvip were traveling to Rath Yatra, and they brought a dog along with them. It was Shivananda Saint's party. I don't know if it was actually his dog, but the dog was tagging along. And, Prabhupada said so many things, if you do not worship G-O-D, then you will worship D-O-G. And, we're a cat and dog society, and if you ask a bunch of dogs, who is your leader? They will say, the dog that barks the loudest. This is democracy, democracy. But in spite of that, one dog came along with the party of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Shivananda Saint made all arrangements for the dog to get on the boat, on the ferry. And when he got to Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya was throwing him some coconut pulp prasad, and then the dog was not seen one day. And everyone came to understand that the dog had gone back to Godhead because of eating Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prasad. So that's why when we're in the Dham, we should also be respectful to the living entities. Maybe it could have been a devotee in their last life that made some offense, because you have to take one birth as a monkey or a hog before you join Krishna's Boma Leela. Or maybe you go from being a monkey or hog directly back. I'm not exactly sure how that works. But anyway, when Srila Prabhupada was asked one time, how will you know who a devotee of Krishna is? And Prabhupada said, He is a perfect gentleman. That's how you would know. So one time Srila Prabhupada was in Gainesville at the WRUF radio station. And there was an interviewer that was in charge of a show there, and he's very provocative. He was, what do you call it, stirring the pot? You know, he liked to do that with people. And so he asked Srila Prabhupada, so what do you do? What are you doing that's so special? We already have so many churches. And Srila Prabhupada said, we are bringing the authorized version. And the interviewer said, authorized by who? And Srila Prabhupada said, authorized by Lord Chaitanya. And that was when the interviewer asked, how would we know who's one of your followers, a follower of Krishna consciousness? And Srila Prabhupada said, he would be a perfect gentleman. So my mom taught me when I was I'm not a perfect gentleman, but my mom taught me, open the door for the ladies. Of course, some feminists might say, I can open it myself. And she told me to give up my seat on the bus to elderly people. I remember one time I was on my way to Chandigarh to go up to an Ayurvedic hospital. And I was on a bus, and there was a bunch of young boys in the back, and they were on their cell phones, and ha ha ha, and laughing. And there was an old lady there with her shopping bag, and I said to the boys, I said, hasn't your Mata and Pita taught you to respect the elder? Of course, now I'm in the body of an elder too. But I didn't ask it for me. I said, look, this Mataji, she's carrying this. And one of the boys got up and gave up his seat. So this is like basic etiquette that's important for everyone, for the youth to learn. Anyway, Gaura Prabhu, he was saying that when he was at that radio station listening to Prabhupada answering this provocative interviewer, that they were just falling in love with Srila Prabhupada every moment. Because even though this interviewer was poking Prabhupada and trying to, what's the expression, get his goat? Prabhupada just remained kind throughout. Our godbrother Kishore Prabhu, he gives the example when he was at Bhaktivedanta Manor in 1973. Shamasundar Prabhu organized, maybe Gurudas Prabhu was there, he organized interfaith to bring many religious, were you there? Oh, very cool. He brought them all together to have, to find out who is this Swami, who is this founder, Acharya of ISKCON. And so it was packed. And Srila Prabhupada was preaching to the guests, and in walks in this little 5-year-old boy, dressed in a sannyasi outfit, carrying a danda. And he was Kishore Prabhu's stepson. And so Prabhupada stopped speaking to all these dignitaries. And he said, Maharaj! With his eyes wide open, he said, welcome, come. And so the little boy climbed over all the guests, climbed over their heads to get to where Prabhupada was. And he sat right in front of Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada was beaming at him. And he said, Maharaj, what is your name? And the little boy answered, Premananda. And Prabhupada said, Premananda Maharaj. And he took one of his Maha sweets and he said, take. Premananda Maharaj, take. And so he offered him a sweet. And Prabhupada was watching little Premananda, enjoying the sweet. And then he went right back to preach to all the world religion dignitaries there. And it was very memorable to see how Srila Prabhupada could stop a whole big conference to so-called big people and just focus on a little 5-year-old boy and show his kindness to him like that. Of course, the next day, Premananda was playing with his friends and he was using his danda as a weapon, swinging it at his friends. And Prabhupada asked him, where's the father? Who's the father? And Kishore came forward, thinking he was going to get the sauce from Srila Prabhupada, and he said, sannyasa is serious business. You know, and I guess he wanted him to take the danda away from the boy. So yeah, it was, Srila Prabhupada is multifaceted. He has so many different aspects to his personality. That's why, what is that verse? Arche Vishnudi, that one should never think the spiritual master is an ordinary person. He's beyond being anything of this material world. We have the example, I'm just focusing right now on number one, and I should maybe quit so that I can give all of you a chance to speak. But Kishori was with Kishori Devi Dasi. She's the wife of Surabhi Abhipalayantam at one point. So she was in Vrindavan, and the mosquitoes were out in full force. And the alert was out that, make sure that Prabhupada's door is closed so that you don't let any mosquitoes in to disturb him and bother him. And so Harisari Prabhu started to get heavy with her and started to chastise. I thought I told you, don't let the mosquitoes in. You left the door open. And Kishori started becoming, very apologetic. No, I was very careful. I'm so sorry. And then Prabhupada came. He was hearing the scuffle, and he came out from behind, and he put Kishori behind him. And Prabhupada opposed Harisari. And he said, "What are you doing? Why are you treating her like this?" He became very, very defensive of Kishori. "What now? Why you're speaking to her like this? What is this? You should not speak to her like this." And Prabhupada showed that how anger can be used in Krishna's service. It's not that a sadhu is just Om Shanti Shanti. Sometimes, as Prabhupada says in the Nectar of Instruction, first verse, Arjuna had to be incited to kill his own family members in the battle of Kurukshetra. Hanuman was incited to go and burn the whole Ravana down, Lanka down, in order to get Sita Devi back. So anger can be used to protect devotees, and it should be. I'll just give one more anecdote. Prabhupada was at Titnahurst, and John Lennon's place in Ascot, and he had heard, maybe it was from Gurudas Prabhu, that he heard that the bricklayer couldn't sleep at night because he was hearing like a body being dragged above his head with chains, and the bricklayer couldn't get to sleep.
It was Frank the gardener.
Frank the gardener, okay. Mukunda Maharaj said, he called him a bricklayer. But anyway, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I heard another version.
Gurudas is right. I was there also.
Okay, Frank the gardener. Okay. Oh, you'll have to tell Mukunda Maharaj next time you see him. And so...
He was laying flour bricks. He was
Pardon?
laying flour bricks.
Flower bricks. Oh, okay.
Poetry.
So Srila Prabhupada told the devotees to, when he's not there, go and do a kirtan and blow conch shells. And so Prabhupada was conducting an exorcism. Prabhupada's the original Ghostbuster. And after that, Frank the gardener had no problem taking rest at night. So this was Prabhupada's kindness. He went out of his way to take care of this gentleman. So I'd like to open things up. We've got 11 minutes left. Oh, Jai, Partha had his first hand up, so go ahead, Prabhu.
I was just recalling this, something I heard that probably most of you have never heard.
Can anyone give a mic to Partha, Prabhu, please? But you've got a pretty...
Yeah. I can do the Bengali thing.
Okay, do it.
When we were moving out of the 16th and Barar temple, we found this reel-to-reel tape under the stairs. And it's just a wonderful example of Prabhupada was very kind and benevolent. So it's actually a japa tape. And Prabhupada's chanting japa, and then you hear him say, "Where is Stoka Krishna?" And he's really concerned voice, loving concerned voice, like a mother or father. Where is Stoka Krishna? must have been like the sound like Purandar's voice. She said, "Oh, Prabhupada, he's in the kitchen." And I said, so he probably absorbed his job. He's like concerned about his devotees. Where was Krishna?
That's reminding me of another quick story, but anyway, Guru Das Prabhu.
Well, will you forget it if I...
Just say Moksha Lakshmi and I'll remember it.
Silent. Prabhupada says, empty bowl makes most sound, full bowl is silent. About people from being silent.
Oh, but the quality of silence.
Empty bowl makes most sound, full bowl is silent.
How do you understand that?
It means that you don't have to talk too much.
Ah. Thank you. I'll take that as a cue. Yeah, with Moksha Lakshmi, I remember telling the story that she was in Mumbai serving, and there was one god sister that stayed back to do service. And so Moksha Lakshmi took her baby and brought her to the airport. And Prabhupada walked up to her at the airport and said, "Where's the mother?" Like he knew that this baby did not belong to this mother. He was concerned about the baby. Would anyone like to address Rajabihari Prabhu?
Well, it's sort of, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. A lot of devotees, I think, have had trouble sometimes over the years with Harera Bhaktasya Kato Mahagunam, that non-devotees have no good qualities, because they meet non-devotees that seem like really nice people. So I also was in that category, and then one day I was listening to a lecture by Srila Prabhupada, and he said something that totally cleared my conscience of that concern. He said, "What is the use of their good qualities?" So he acknowledged that they had good qualities, but just because if they have good qualities in this life but no devotional service, in the next life, who knows what birth they will get. But he acknowledged that they had good qualities.
They polish cats and dogs.
Polished cats and dogs.
Thank you. Guru Das Prabhu.
Just like the snake who has a college degree and has a jewel in his crown will still bite people.
Regarding Suchi, Srila Prabhupada said, we are to be revolutionary clean. One devotee said, Srila Prabhupada, there are some cockroaches and rats in the kitchen here. Should we kill them? And Prabhupada said, no, you should be killed. Because you don't keep the kitchen clean enough, then you're inviting the roaches and rats to come, and you want to kill them, you should be killed.
Once in Montreal, they had converted a bowling alley into a nice temple. It was quite a transformation. Anyway, and devotees were extremely obedient to Prabhupada's instruction of keeping everything so clean that they would wash. It was like a huge area, as big as this hall, you know. But it was divided. You know, half of it was a temple room, and they would wash the open area where we were serving prasad and doing classes. They would wash it 3 times a day.
Wow.
And there was the city health inspector. He would come, maybe a couple of months. He said, I don't know why I'm coming here. This is the cleanest place in the whole city.
Wow.
He says, we could eat food off the floor. Wow. Everything is so clean here. I love you people. You make my job so much easier. Because I can give you an A+ rating coming here. So you recognize that we were super clean. That's good.
Wow. Shamodamas tapa shaucham. One of the qualities of the Brahmins is that they're very clean. Rajabihari Prabhu.
Well, there's one very practical application to cleanliness, and it's something, because I used to travel a lot for work. All of us are staying in a hotel room, and you know that famous saying Prabhupada said, you should leave a place cleaner than you got there. So we should all actually leave our rooms very nice and clean. We're not going to change the towels and the sheets, but everything else we should actually not just say, oh, it's a hotel and the cleaning lady should just come and clean up our mess, but actually we should leave our room very clean. Okay. And I don't know how many of you know Bhakta Henry. He's been a Bhakta for 40 years, but he's a very, very nice devotee. And he gave Jamuna Devi and Dinkarni a place to stay for 3 years in his mansion in Washington, D.C. when she was writing the cookbook. And he noted that, and I'm sure there's people here who can say a lot more about this than I can, but he noted that Prabhupada taught her to always be cleaning while you're cooking. And so he said he couldn't believe it, but the kitchen was always spotless while she was cooking. And she just cleaned as she cooked, and Prabhupada taught her that, and he said he was just amazed at it, because it was just completely spotless even though the cooking was going on. So,
Yeah, similar. Prabhupada gave a statement. He said, when you're finished cooking, you're finished cleaning. And I was asked to give a class in Mayapur one time. And I extrapolated on this a little bit. Actually, there's a quote where Prabhupada said, if the kitchen is not clean by the time the offering goes on the altar, Radharani does not accept that offering. And then I extrapolated and I said, so as far as we know, maybe we're eating boga from those cooks who don't clean their kitchen while they're cooking. And then the whole world, the word went around Mayapur, and then the devotees coming back and, Gaura Prabhu, did you say that we're eating boga? Yes, Maharaj.
You have the assumption ladder.
Pardon?
You went up the assumption ladder.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I was just looking at the verse also, it says, Sura, by engaging in devotional service, one develop the qualities of the demigods. But the Acharya said this word Sura is not demigod, it is Krishna. It is the Supreme Lord. So by engaging in devotional service, one naturally develop the qualities of the Lord, not demigods. Here also is Prabhupada right, demigods, but it is the Lord's qualities. It cannot be demigod, it should be the Lord. And I was just contemplating on this, number 6 here, is magnanimous. Prabhupada is very magnanimous. And I was looking at the words of this meaning in dictionary, magnanimous. In dictionary it would mean that somebody who has given you something, some gift, a higher gift. For example, a father may have given a son a bicycle, so he's magnanimous. My brother has given me a ticket to go to London, so he's magnanimous. But the word magnanimous here doesn't mean only that. Someone who has given us the highest treasure, highest gift, Prabhupada has given to the whole world, isn't it? Yeah, so that's, we're just contemplating on that word magnanimity. I mean, that's also applied to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Mahavadanyaya. Vadanya means magnanimity. So, like Prabhupada, he has given us a gift that no one else has given to the whole world. It's just
Thank you.
contemplating on that.
In the 4th canto, I believe it's stated, Srila Prabhupada writes, that there's no question of I'm paraphrasing, there's no question of the disciple ever repaying the spiritual master for what he has given. But if you want to try, he said, then preach vigorously, just as I am doing. So the more gratitude we have to Srila Prabhupada, the more we'll want to distribute his books, the more we'll want to go organize university programs. home programs, go out on Harinam, prasadam distribution, all of this, somehow or other. Yena tena prakarena, mana Krishna nishevaya. Somehow or other, by hook or by crook. Help them to become Krishna conscious. In one place, Prabhupada was saying that if one does not develop these 26 qualities, they can't go back to Godhead. So it's really important. I remember the first time I heard of these 26 qualities, 1976, Rupanuga Prabhu was our GBC in Canada. And he said, we should all memorize these. And the ones that we forget are usually the ones that we may be lacking. I thought that was interesting. I've yet to memorize them. Anything else from anyone?
Prabhupada also mentioned, I heard it from a lecture, that on the devotees in the US, when Prabhupada started the movement, and the devotees they were thanking Prabhupada, thank you so much for giving us Krishna conscious. And Prabhupada said, you have to give me my dakshina. So what Prabhupada mean by dakshina? He's not asking for money. He said, you have to give me my dakshina, means go out and preach.
Yes.
That's my dakshina. Mahaprabhu also said the same thing to Vasudeva, the leper, who got skin disease. So Mahaprabhu also asked him, you have to give me my dakshina. My dakshina, now you have to preach Krishna consciousness.
That reminds me of the past time where Srila Prabhupada was on a train, and there was this family man, and he was saying, businessman, and he was saying to Srila Prabhupada, oh, Swamiji, give me your blessings, give me your blessings. And Prabhupada was with some of his sannyas disciples, and he pointed to all the shaved-headed, robed devotees. He said, these are my blessings. Will you take this blessing? Because he was saying he was probably inclined to, give me nice children and give me nice, good bank account and shave up and get fired up. Mataji, yes, please.
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for this beautiful class.
Louder, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank
Okay.
you for this beautiful class. There's 2 points that I think there's a part from Shupa's Vilamrit in Rindya, for point 9, he is without any possessions, and he is always surrendered to Krishna. This is a pastime where Srila Prabhupada, with the help of his 2 disciples, they purchased the land for the Detroit temple, and how the Detroit temple, and how he bargained with the estate owner saying that we'll purchase this land with $300,000 US, and Prabhupada did not have any cash on him, but he promised that he'll pay right away, and his 2 disciples helped come up with that money. And so Prabhupada is saying that he had no penny, he had no money in his bank account, but he got this money, and then when he's going back to Toronto, he's going without money. So it's like everything's used in Krishna service, nothing stays with him. That's a large amount of cash he had, came to him, but it was used in Krishna service. So that's just reminding me that he was without any possession. He's also fully surrendered because he knew everything is for Krishna. So it's to be used in the service.
Thank you. One of those devotees was like Shravanti Devidasi, whose father, Walter Reuther, was head of the union to protect the auto workers of Detroit. And the other one was Ambarish Prabhu, who we continue to pray for his health because he's had a bout and been in the hospital. Now he's allegedly in a normal hospital room instead of the emergency room. So we'll continue to pray. My dear Lord Krishna, if it is your will, please continue to help heal Ambarish Prabhu. And on this note, I'd like to mention that our godbrother, I just heard from Rida Prabhu, our godbrother Rida, that our godbrother Gokulendra Prabhu, who I never met, Gokulendra, passed away just I think a day ago. And he was like the mainstay of the South African Yatra. He was a really important personality there. So, and I just wanted to say about the last point here is Gambhira, grave. One time a devotee said, because I remember one of my Vartma Pradarshika gurus was Gary Preston, He had graduated from the University of Toronto. He had a theology degree, and he was a fellow musician back in Winnipeg. And he had a photo of Srila Prabhupada on the wall. It was just a black and white one. And Prabhupada looked very, I don't know exactly how to look grave, but Prabhupada looked very grave. Like compared to like Maharishi Mahesh holding a rose, you know, and, you know, doing a pose. Holding a rose and doing a pose. Srila Prabhupada looked very grave. And so one time a devotee was commenting on this photo. And he said, "Oh, Srila Prabhupada, you look so serious there, or almost sad." And Prabhupada said, "I was experiencing the highest ecstasy." So grave means you can't understand the mind of that great personality. But I remember when I saw that photo of Srila Prabhupada, because I asked him, I said, I asked Gary, this was like spring of 75, who amongst all the gurus on the scene, Swami Chinmaya, Chinmayananda, and Satchidananda, and Satya Sai Baba, and this one and that one, who's the greatest guru of them all? Who's the least commercial? Who's the most genuine? And he pointed to Srila Prabhupada's serious black and white photo. He said, it would have to be Swami A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada.
That's why it's called Prabhupada.
He's the master at whose feet all other masters sit. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'd like to thank Gokulananda Prabhu for offering me his class. It was by his mercy that I was able to come and make a fool of myself.